So today is Sunday the 12th, at least for another hour. I really didn't do anything yesterday except for figure out how to get the videos loaded from a camera to the computer, kind of familiarize a little bit with what the video editing software does. But I've been working at night because it's cooler out, and so here I am. I have the heads bolted and torqued down onto the 8100 with the new head gaskets. Looks like probably Tuesday the gaskets for the lower end will be here. Here's the driver's door. I've gotten the driver's door stripped down. We got some little dings and holes, and all these holes where they drilled and pulled out these big dents. I think I'm going to be welding those in. We're going to be trying to pull these dents out better because it's actually, I don't know if you can see it, but it's pretty dented still. I think some of these down here might actually be high. So they had a whole, it was just caked full of body filler Bondo in through here, because I think they were chasing themselves on it. It really doesn't feel too bad. Looks like, it feels like we're maybe low through this area right here a little bit. This area doesn't feel bad. There's right across. But I think I'll try and work that out better on the metal. Try and get that better, because I want to get as little amount of body filler on this car as possible. You know, it really, there's a few little spots. There's a spot there, and there's a few little spots I can feel on the bottom edge. They're not really horrible. They're not real bad. So I think I have to pull the door handle and the lock out so I can clean that all up in there. But I think this door came off of another Camaro, because it was like that business blue, that light blue color underneath when I stripped it down. So I think that came off of a different Camaro, which makes sense. So I think maybe it had power windows in it, because they've got the window mechanism is riveted in this one. So I'll have to drill out the rivets to get all the window mechanism and everything out, so that I can get in there and work those dents from the backside, the inside of the door, as best I can. Plus I want to get down in here, and I want to strip this other side. You can see some of the blue there where the seal was. So I want to clean up all the other sides. So I'll flip it back over, get rid of the window and the door handle lock, all that stuff, and I'll get that cleaned up so that I can strip the paint off of the inside of the door and work that dent. So the Camaro here itself, it's really dusty from sanding off all the Bondo from the door. It's everywhere now. But I got most of the original paint stripped off. I've still got to get in. I'll probably put another coat of chemical stripper, and then I'll probably go at it with some steel wool. But I got most of that out of the door jamb. I still have to go up and clean out all of this stuff from the seals from the window stuff. But I'll strip that all down. I'll get all that cleaned up. You know, I got to pull the seats out. I've got to pull the carpet out. You know, just clean out the inside of the car so I can get in there. Like this one has, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little spot of rust right here inside. And so I'll probably cut a section out there, and I'll probably take it out of the 79 Formula Firebird. It's out in the yard. I'll probably cut that section out, use that to patch that portion of the floor pan. If there's any other areas of rust that I find in this floor pan, probably take it out of the Firebird as well. Because actually my 79 Trans Am is in pretty good shape floorboard wise. Got to clean up this edge right here on the door opening. I got to finish sanding down the roof to get all this primer off and get it down to the metal. And then of course all the really fun stuff down here in the rocker panels. I got to get that all stripped off, you know. And of course it's an absolute disaster on the floor. So I'll probably have to go around and do another round of sweeping and cleaning up on the floor, just boring stuff. I probably won't do a whole lot of recording on that stuff. You know, I've got absolute ton of single edge razor blades so that I can get it all done. Now I'll do the same on this side as the other side. I'll take the door off. These doors are freaking heavy, but I'll take this door off. I'll get all this stripped down. I'll strip down the whole door jamb, get the door taken apart, and so I think it'll be easier to strip this lower section of the door and then get all this. See, this has a crap ton of Bondo in it too, just like the other side. So I think it'll be easier to work if I can get it up on a stand like I've got the other one. And then I'll go ahead and I'll strip out this door jamb and everything as well. You know, the original orange actually isn't too bad. It's kind of a nice color, but I don't know. I had originally thought maybe I'd just do it in a burnt orange again, but I guess the color code on this, they call it metallic orange. So, and then I don't know, I'll probably pull the dashboard out of it because I really want to pull the windshield out so I can really get in and clean everything up. But you can see in the corners up here in the front, I really don't have rust in the corners up there, which is one spot that, see, because the way the windows are in these Camaros, in these second gens, you know, this whole package tray is all like, it's just one piece back here, you know, and so the window seals on top of that, and then, but because of the flex in the body, a lot of times the glue actually detaches from the window, so it'll leak down in through, it'll leak down in all of this area and go in, and that's why they have a lot of problems with these rotting out at the tops of the fenders and the floor pans and stuff. And so the windshields will do the same thing, because this panel up here on the dashboard is all part of this cowl panel, and it just seals up against that panel. And so if that bead, when they glue the windshield down, isn't quite right, you know, it's got to be really consistent in size when they lay the bead, so that they can get it pressed in and stuck really good. But if that isn't really consistent and it peels up on some part or lets go of the windshield in just a little bit, then it'll start leaking, and that pulls up in these corners, and these corners rot out, and that's kind of a big problem on these cars. I mean, you can replace that whole cowl panel, and a lot of people do that, but it's just better if you don't have the rust. And see, this side over here, it's not even rusted either. So I would like to pull the windshield out just to be able to paint that section of the cowl so it matches the car or whatever. But this windshield is not cracked at this point, and every windshield I've tried to pull on one of these breaks. So I don't know that I want to buy a new windshield at this point. And I can always mask the car off and paint that when I replace the windshield, because it's got some scratches in the glass. You can see them here maybe, but there's some scratches. It's not the end of the world, but it's not broken, so I think I'm going to leave the windshield alone for now, and then when the windshield has to come out, at that point I'll clean everything up and I'll touch it up with paint. So the big thing is just prepping in an edge and getting down far enough so that the paint that I put on the car doesn't lift around the edge, so I don't have it peeling back on me. And just the same old until I get it stripped down. You know, as part of the pain of it. And the worst part of the body work is all the cleaning prep work, because the paint is only as good as what is underneath, and everything starts at the base. You have to have a good foundation on the body work in order for the body work to be nice and to actually last and be quality. So basically I'm at that point where I'm just going after the whole cornerstone, you know, of the whole bodywork situation. So it's all about starting with it all the way at the base, at the very beginning. Alright, so I got the carpet ripped out, and really it's not too bad. The floor pans up front look pretty good and solid. You know, they're pretty solid, really. These ones over here. Then this is that bad spot I was talking about earlier. And then we get to this floor pan right here. So this driver's side rear passenger footwell, it's pretty rusty. So we got some holes poking through where it's all soft. And so yeah, I'll have to do some repair, but because the front of the pan's pretty solid, I mean, it's got a lot of dirt, and this emergency brake cable's pretty rusted, you know, but it's actually solid under there. That soft is the body glue, and this tar paper stuff for sound deadening. But yeah, everything else is pretty solid besides some of this stuff. And all I did was I poked around with a screwdriver. To find all them soft spots, but it looks like I may be able to just take out a section of the Firebird floor pan, maybe just cut around here on the edge, come up around here, just right here at this edge here, depending on that part there. But if I take it up a little higher to the edge where the front seat bolts down. The only problem is that this bolt right here broke off, so I got to figure out something about that bolt, and that's because that's fairly rusted. So I may be able to just replace that piece there too. I don't know. I'll have to get under the car and kind of look at how it's shaped and all that, and figure out what I got to do. But since I got this rust hole back here anyways, I got to replace a chunk of that. I suppose I could just cut it back here and up around, come across this back side. Maybe I'll just make a whole custom floor pan to get rid of this whole hump that comes up, or I don't know. We'll see. Because it would be a lot nicer. I could put that Honda seat in here if I could drop that floor pan down. And then it would fit without your head hitting the freaking top of the roof, you know. Alright, so on the door, I've got some bolts here for window stuff, but I've got rivets holding in, actually a screw, but I got a rivet holding in the door handle. Got rivets holding in the actual main body of the window crank mechanism. And I think these are like mostly just adjustments and stops and stuff for the window stuff. Like these are a window track. These I think are stops. This is a stop. I've got another bolt over here, which is a window track. Another one up there. So I got window tracks, I got stops. But the window mechanism itself has been riveted in. This door's kind of beat up. It's beat up here. Somebody cut it all up to fit a speaker magnet, you know. It ain't the prettiest underneath. I'll probably make some custom metal door panels, maybe out of aluminum, for the door, because I want to make a whole custom dash panel as well, and so I'll probably do all that out of aluminum, just so it's lightweight. And then plus I want to learn how to do a bunch more stuff on the bead roller, so I think I'll make like a custom panel that looks kind of like an actual upholstered panel. Put different patterns in it and whatnot. And that'll give it some rigidity and strength. And if I want to, then I can paint it to match the car, so it looks good, but it won't be upholstered. I suppose I could make a really basic panel and actually upholster on top of it or whatever, but I don't know. This car is kind of like the first in a bunch of projects, so we'll see how it goes, I guess. Looks better. Maybe. Alright, so I got the 8100 set in the Camaro. I actually have the motor mounts they got the bolts to the motor mounts. I don't have a whole lot of clearance on my oil pan. That was part of what I was going to check out. See, really close on the oil pan and the cross member, you know, it just, and then the oil pan hangs down probably 3 to 4 inches too low, so I'll have to shorten the oil pan. Man, that is really freaking fun. Now, I didn't put the whole clutch on it and whatnot, but the transmission is pretty much up on there, as you can see. It's not bolted in or anything like that to it, but it looks like the tight, it'll be tight over here with the brake booster. I'll bet you those freaking manifolds are going to be tight, but I'll bet you they'll work around that steering that way. So the balancer clears the sway bar. I mean, this whole thing is, whoo, that's a heck of a fit right there. Set the 8100 in the car. Kind of set the radiator from the the van that it came out of up there, kind of see how it's going to have to fit and whatnot. I don't know if I can fabricate up in the nose of the car or whatever to kind of, I'm thinking maybe tilt the radiator forward, come in and up, and then make some hood exit air vents so that it goes up and out and integrates back in with the airflow of the car. That might work with that big old radiator, because I think if I have this big old radiator that was in the 3500 van that the motor and everything came out of, that it'll keep that motor cool. So I'd be able to drive it Rocky Mountain Race Week or any number of things and keep the car cool. So I'd like to kind of do that. So if I can get it slanted forward, integrated in where the air comes up and through, and I duct it and then make some ducted hood vents. You know, that's all the rage these days anyways, right? So if I do that, then I can do that, keep all that hot air out from under the hood, use this big old radiator. I do have the AC compressor that came on this motor, so I mean, I guess technically I could run AC on the car at some point if I wanted to. But I've set in here, this is kind of how the wiring harness runs. I think I'll have to do a bunch of trimming if I use the stock ECU to run it. Looks like the exhaust manifolds clear everything. I actually have a little bit of room down there between the frame. They fit. It's a tight fit, but they fit. Everything just kind of, if I can see, the bell housing fits. Everything's got quite a bit of clearance back there, and the tunnel. The exhaust manifold looks like it's like notched perfect for the frame, which is, I don't know, maybe it's set for a big block or something. So but even this side down here, even this side clears the frame. The question is, am I going to be able to use my Z-bar adapter? The Z-bar adapter is going to go bolt in there with the bell housing in the block, and then it'll hang up over here on top of the, right above the oil filter. So I don't know, it looks like it'll probably fit. I might have to shave the top edge of that manifold just to get it to clear, but if it should be able to fit, and then I can run the Z-bar. See, it attaches bolts on that side of the frame, the subframe up there, and then the bracket will come over above the oil filter boss on the block, and then I'll be able to run the Z-bar linkage and everything for the manual clutch in this thing, and run an old school clutch. But it looks like everything is fitting. It's a tight fit because it's a big block, but it looks like it's fitting. I mean, even the intake manifold looks like it'll fit under the hood. I'll have to figure out something with the intake because it angles upward. I think that may cause an issue, but if I go to a cowl induction hood, it should fit anyways, even if I have to put a cowl induction hood. So I don't know, I'll figure something out. That may have to just come into the custom body look of the Camaro. Maybe I can fabricate a stock style scoop for the 81 that then actually comes up higher instead, so I keep the look of the 81 Camaro. I don't know, but looks like everything is just gonna fit under the hood, maybe, because I could cut these top two bosses off of the front of the top of the intake manifold if I have to, if they stick up too high. But like I say, that throttle body, that's going to be the issue really, I think, right there, whether I can do that or not. But so if I use the Terminator X, I'll have to go to a manual throttle body. I do have a gas pedal for the drive-by-wire. So with this system, I could do it with the stock stuff here. So I'm thinking if I do it with the stock ECU and everything, I'll mount the stock ECU up under the fender. Of course, maintenance-wise, that'll be a real pain in the butt to have to get into the fender to actually take the computer loose or whatnot. But I don't know, we'll see. I think if I do that, I'm going to have to go pull a whole bunch of wiring out of the harness and set it up different, because I got a whole lot of extra stuff that I don't want to use if I'm going to use the stock wiring harness. And then I don't believe I need this guy here. So, I mean, there's a lot of issues that I can run. I don't have to run a controller for a transmission. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll grab the Terminator X off of the LS and the other Camaro in the yard, bring it down, see if I can't work into fitting it on the 8100. This is just kind of set together. I mean, the intake manifold is actually just set on the motor. I just kind of was placing everything in there to see how it was all going to fit, see what I had to do to make changes on stuff and everything. So anyhow, I'm going to call it a night, and I'm done. So, you know, if any of you enjoy what I'm doing, please like, subscribe, share the video, comment. I'll try and answer any questions you might have, or answer back on any comments that you leave. You know, like it, share it. It helps with the algorithm to try and get a channel going on YouTube. And basically, I do this because I enjoy it. I do it even if nobody is watching or whatever. I might not vlog, but I'd definitely be working with the cars. And I just want to get out and hang out with people that enjoy doing the same thing that I do, and have fun with it, you know. Mostly it's been dreams, and now I'm trying to follow my dreams. So just do a little something every day, and eventually you'll get there. Till the next video.